Live from Ash Anvil in Gardner, Kansas, it's Bourbon Bros KC.
Hey, Bourbon Bros KC here.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
We're live.
Hey, Keith, quiet. So we are live at Ash Anvil in Gardner, Kansas. This is the night we've been waiting on.
This is a big one.
I think so, right? I mean, it's
It's a big one.
I think we're excited for this one.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone had a good week?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
Had a busy week?
It was a good week for me. My oldest daughter graduated from 8th grade and is moving into high school next year. And then my second oldest daughter today had her 4th grade graduation because here 5th grade is middle school. So we had a graduation ceremony today for that. Pretty awesome. It's been a good couple days.
I'm not gonna ask you yet because I'm gonna introduce you. So, and I've had a good week and I'm excited for this. So, as we've been talking about for quite a while, posting a lot of social media.
Yep.
Toby Curtsinger.
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you for joining
Thank you
us.
for coming. Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it.
You.
All the way from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how'd you do it?
I was going to fly, but when Derek and I were talking and found out that we established a date, my daughter was with me on a bourbon tour, and she was like, "Well, I've never kind of been to one of these presentations," so she decided to come. So I was like, "Well, let's just make it a road trip." So
That's awesome.
she wanted to spend some more time with me because we don't get to see as much as where she's in college, and she's got that boyfriend she spends a lot of time with. Yeah, I know, but he's a good kid.
He's a good one.
Yeah, he is.
Right,
He's a good kid.
There's a lot of beef on this table. We can take care of that. Take care of that. So now we're excited to have you. So Derek, you kind of talk about what we've been doing, what the planning,
Right. Yeah, it's been a lot of planning going into today and tomorrow as well. But getting Toby here, that was one of the big key pieces of this evening's event. So tonight here in the shop, we're shutting the lounge down after we get done here at the live. We're shutting the lounge down for a private dinner, and Toby's gonna tell his story. So you're here watching us live. You're gonna hear a little bit of it, but he's gonna spill the beans.
Yeah.
And
are you?
Well,
maybe not all the beans, right?
Well, yeah, and I met Derek last fall down in Miami with Eric Espinosa's event, and had kind of about a partial presentation, not because time permitting, but yeah, it digs into a lot more because the Netflix show was about 20% of actually what happened. There was a lot of other factors that was in on it that a lot of people after they find out, is kind of shocks and all. Because, there's a lot of things that was in play that Netflix only had like an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes to explain on the show. So I wanted the whole story told. So this going to different sites and doing this presentation kind of gives people the whole picture of actually what was happening and what went on. So
for the people who haven't yet watched the Netflix thing, can you tell how would they find that? What's it called?
It's if you have Netflix or anyone has Netflix, get on Netflix and look up Heist, and it's episode 5 and 6, The Bourbon King.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. It's hard for me to kind of watch because comes down to it, I'm God, family, friends, and it's got when my kids get on and start talking and start tearing up, it kind of tears me up because I'm a big family man. So kids are everything to me.
Well, it's I have watched it a couple times now, and I'm excited to hear the rest of the story.
You're going to hear some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's I hope it's not offensive when I say this, but bootlegging goes all the way back to the beginning of whiskey, right?
Yeah, when I found out my dad, when everything was going on, his grandfather was actually a bootlegger in where we lived. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it goes, even all the way back in, I think of the pirate days and running rum.
Oh, yeah.
And before the United States was even making whiskey. It's an industry as old as time.
Well, it's like you and I were talking. That's kind of the way a lot of it came to Kentucky, down from Pennsylvania and up through Maryland, through the Cumberland Gap and the river, the taxation without representation. So you came out west in the wilderness to make your bourbon and shit, send it down to Louisiana, down to New Orleans, and that's how you made your money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Hey, since we're going an hour, Keith, shh. Since we're only going an hour tonight, this is the wrong cup. Before we get into it,
Let's do it.
can we put something else in our glasses?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, we've been talking about
Yeah,
this. You don't
okay.
know.
Holiday.
So this is the local distillery.
This is one of my favorite whiskeys.
So
this is distillery number 5.
Holiday soft red wheat. So bottle and bond. Obviously, it's 100 proof, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Let's fill some glasses up.
Yeah, this is a local distillery here to Kansas City, and it is a great whiskey. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's not very far from here. It's right up by the airport, in fact. So, but they do a great pour.
Yes.
Good color, got a good aroma.
Real good. So I thought I would bring a bottle like this if you wanted to drink.
Well,
Probably not, right?
no, because even though I worked there for 26 years, they've kind of shunned me from the property, so I no longer support them. So, but that's if you guys are up to drinking it, drink away. I still got a lot of friends that work there, so it's important to my community. So, but they don't want me, so I guess I'll just kind of pass it on to other people.
I understand, but
We got plenty of other good stuff.
yeah, and we're gonna light up. I mean, I think
I've already got
Let's go
mine.
do
Yeah.
it, yes.
we're light up. So you've got one going there.
Yep.
So,
So we're gonna smoke the knuckle sandwich Habano tonight. So this is by Espinosa. This is Guy Fieri's cigar that he blended with Eric Espinosa. And there's a lot of celebrity cigar brands out there that don't do they don't last very long. Because the celebrity puts their name on it, but they don't really have anything to do with the brand. They push it for a period of time, it gets big, and it goes away. Guy is not that way.
No,
Guy
he's
is
not.
a cigar man. He is he is totally behind this product, and it shows. It's a great cigar. So, yeah, let's go ahead and light it. Cut it up.
Thank you.
And you're smoking a different knuckle sandwich still.
Yeah, I got the 58. Just came out this year.
Done for Guy's 58th birthday.
Yes, and it's one of the best ones I've tried. It's really good.
So that cigar, we were able to purchase that from Espinosa almost a year ago now, right? And I got 10 boxes or something, and within 3 days I sold out. Wow, that was fast. So I ordered another 10 boxes and I sold out, and then I went to order some more and they said nope, it's all gone. All right, well, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Can't order more. But my buddy Josh Bowling, who's our local Espinosa rep, he was at a shop the other day and came across a few boxes. The owner said, "Well, I'd like to sell them, just get my money back out of them."
Wow.
So
Nice.
I bought them, and now they're gone.
Yeah. They don't last long.
They do not last long.
Yeah, I had one last night there.
I had one yesterday
They
too.
are so good.
Great
So,
cigar.
hey, let's do one thing. If people, we can ask questions, but this is an opportunity for you guys on the chat. Toby can see the chat. We just got to give him some bifocals here. But ask some questions. Ask away, and when you're watching Netflix, you definitely can't ask the questions. So let's
So
ask away.
when did you start working at Buffalo Trace?
I started working at Buffalo Trace in December 28 of 88.
Huh?
I was actually enrolled in a small college in Kentucky, Lindsey Wilson, which is in southern Kentucky. Came home for the holiday and was riding around with a buddy of mine. He was putting applications in, and the girl that was taking applications was a graduated a year ahead of us. And she was like, "Well, do you want to fill some out?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And I told my mom that night that I filled some applications out, and she asked me where, and I was like, "Well, one of them was Ancient Age. That's what it was called at the time." Yeah. And she worked at the local hospital, and she told me, she said, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." Said one of my best friends is a respiratory doctor's nurse, and her husband's the personnel manager.
Oh.
So the next day I got a phone call for a physical. So I had a choice. I could either go back to school, which I really didn't like because I was small town. You basically could call me a redneck because I, hunt, fish, went to a real small school. K through 12 was a little over 300 people.
Yeah.
Graduated with 26 people in my graduating class. But I was kind of a home person. So started out at $7.51 an hour then.
Wow.
So
So what were
I
you
mean,
doing?
that was an 88. That was still pretty good money.
Oh,
Just started out general labor. I worked in the warehouse for a couple of years, moved up into bottling, then into when the Blantons took off, then the Elmer T. Lee, the Rock Hill Farms. If you guys have been to Buffalo Trace, so
Yeah.
the Blanton building. So I was in there for about 5 years. Then I went to shipping for 10. And then my last 10 years I was in processing. So
Okay.
processed a lot of the bourbons that people are really trying to get, the Van Winkles, the Weller, the Weller 12-year, things like that.
Right. Right. So a question that I had when I was down, because we were just recently at the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
It's good.
We didn't go do the tour, but we were recently there, picking up some bottles on one of their daily drops, and we were talking. I wonder, do employees that work there, are you guys just loaded with all the best bourbons? Do you guys give like first dibs on that stuff?
No, when back in the day they used to give away like birthdays, all holidays you got a bottle, but it was never like really any good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the good stuff didn't come out later. Like we were talking last night, you go back 20 years, you didn't have cast proof. You had like 80, 86, 90, 100 proof. There wasn't really anything over that. And I think it's kind of evolved where a lot of people like that strong cast taste, like straight out of the barrel. Because I have a lot of people on my bourbon tours, they ask me, I was like, well, what do you like to drink? And I was like, I cut my teeth on barrel whiskey in the warehouse. So, and what I mean by that, you drink out of the barrels, you pop the bungs out, you drink out of the water cups.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the culture. That's the way everything happened. So I do like a higher proof, but now some is a little hot, and I'm a little picky on my taste on some things. But no, and I think they cut all that out. One of the guys that had a bottle, and he had an accident, so they came in and a liability issue. So they stopped giving bottles away, and I think that kind of maybe changed people's opinion of things. So, all right, you're not going to give me a bottle, I'll just take what I want. And
gotcha.
so, and I mean, that's kind of the way a lot of that, happens. So, and it's still going on today.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, what you're talking about, you're picky on your taste. What do you think of Holiday?
It smells good and it tastes good. It's got a real good flavor. Yeah, it's good drink.
Are you one of those guys that picks out all these crazy flavor notes and?
No.
No?
I've been around.
Tastes like bourbon.
There's a lady I work with out of Louisville that does a bourbon social, and she's got this box. It's got like 48 flavors.
Uh-huh.
I've only ever tasted cherry, chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon, and that's about it.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard people say, "Oh, I taste apricot." I don't taste that. Leather. I mean, now some of the older stuff, I get like a woody taste.
Yeah.
Because Elmer T. Lee always said the ideal age was from like a 7, maybe to 11 year. He said that's when it's at its best. He said very seldom do you get a bourbon when it gets older than that because it tends to pick a lot of the tannins out of the wood and it gets a little hotter.
Yeah.
And some people don't like that.
What do you guys taste in this? In the
bourbon?
In the whiskey.
I mean, for me, you get those classic bourbon notes, but I'm getting a little bit of wood in there. Like you get the kind of like oak on the back of it. I don't know.
I get a caramel.
Holiday is a great pour.
I taste a little cinnamon,
Yeah, a little bit of that, yeah, that's where you're getting a little bit of that heat on the
Yeah.
back, right?
but it's not. I mean, it's not. It's warm, but it's not hot.
No, all right.
It's a good drink.
Good hug.
To me,
Mhm.
I get the cinnamon, but it's like the red hot cinnamon, not.
Yeah.
But it's like the candy artificial cinnamon, but it's more like I'm tasting. It's gonna sound weird, but like the box of red hots. It's like real faint. It's there, but it's not like eating red hots.
It's not overpowering.
Right.
I think the Rickhouse proof is really like kicks it up a notch.
The Rickhouse proof is actually my favorite. But
Yeah.
Holiday's out of stock of it right now.
Oh, really?
And the liquor stores that I use are out of stock of it right now.
Oh,
So,
I
so we're
should-
drinking bottle and bonds.
I should sell my bottles for more now.
But the Rickhouse proof, that's what 126 proof, I think, and that tends to be my favorite.
so there's a question. So Want to know when the police went through your property through the backyard with no probable cause warrant, how can they do that? How'd they get away with that?
Well, that's the question we've asked for a long time. I even had state police detectives ask me that. I've had an FBI agent ask me that. So the things were so tightly knitted there in Frankfurt that the former sheriff, there's an old movie, I think it's called All the King's Men. It's about a South Carolina governor called Wally Stark. If you ever get a chance or if you've seen that, this guy had like a little book and he had dirt on everyone. And from what I've heard, that's kind of the way the sheriff operated. Like, he would invite people on his boat for things and they would maybe smoke some marijuana or they would do something that wasn't kosher, then he would like hang it over their head. But the judge that signed both of my warrants, there was an issue. What was it? It was an issue that they had a lawsuit where he had backdated a warrant. So, and basically they lied to him. Because I heard that he found out they lied and he was really teed off. But when all this happened, the sheriff contacted all these news outlets and he released the beast. Because once it got out in media, guys, I mean, it was crazy. And once it got out, they couldn't do anything about it because they had people coming in from everywhere.
Wow.
I mean, Men's Health even done an article on it.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. People were calling our house all the time. They were following my wife around, leaving things in our mailbox. We had to run five camera trucks off the property the day that after when I got arraigned.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it was, I mean, it went into the court the first time, it was like cameras everywhere. It was like stuff you see on TV.
Right.
They got these big cases and things, but here it is in Frankfurt. And like I said, I'm just a simple person. I'm just in there looking. I'm like, good Lord, this is crazy.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit. Yep. You don't have to give out all the details here because I know we're gonna be talking about it later here at the event. But give me the listeners like a brief overview of what happened and what the story is about and why they should go watch the heist.
Well, the sheriff's department supposedly got an anonymous tip that morning that there was 5 barrels from wild turkey, stolen barrels behind my house. So the story from them was one of the detectives went out, Detective Farmer, looked around, couldn't find anything, went and got another detective. They looked around, couldn't find anything. Then they went and got a third, and then they supposedly went and they were readily viewable, which they weren't. And so that initiated a second warrant for the house. And then they called, I was actually at my wife's gym working out, and they called. So we went home, and which my daughter's here with me tonight, and she was 9 years old. So she and Julie actually got to the house before I did. And then my son came with me, and I sent him down to my in-laws. So, they took me in. They didn't arrest her. So I got out. Then they grabbed my phone, started going through all that, and then they started just bringing people in. So eventually they try to do the RICO Act where you got to have 9 people. They called it the Curtsinger 9. And I mean, it was every day. It was something on the news. The sheriff was really good friends with a lady that worked at 18 News in Lexington. She was on it just 24/7. And the assistant Commonwealth, Zach Becker, he was really good friends with the local paper. So he was feeding them. And it was just something every day. So, going through all of it, trying to fight it, we did have a suppression hearing twice. And so, I mean, it was just a lot of stuff. We'll cover tonight. And it played out for 3 years. And basically when I ran out of money, that's when they really came at me hard. So it was one of the, after the suppression hearing, which I'm going to get into tonight, I had a choice. I mean, do you roll the dice and go to court and possibly face 30 years in prison, or do you take what they're going to offer you, 30 days in jail, and let it go? So I done what was best for my family. So that's why I took it.
Right.
And then after that, I was basically blackballed, in the area. So, and I'd worked at a distillery all my life. So what in the hell's help was I going to do? So my aunt and uncle had a painting business, and I started working with them. And then I had a guy contact me, kind of got me back into doing the tours and everything. And so he and I didn't see eye to eye on the business level. So we separated. So now that's what I'm trying to do now. I do bourbon tours, but I also do commercial painting.
Wow.
And then Netflix called.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's when they came in. So they were in about 6 to 8 months, stayed. One of the guys stayed with us. He went to church with my mom and dad, got to know our family real good. And everything, and, I laid everything out, but they only had a certain amount of time that they could show. But I will say this, you already know, I have done a shopping agreement with a group in LA. So we're getting ready to start going to a production company. So I don't think it's a matter of if, but a movie will be coming.
Wow, that's
So
so cool.
yeah, it
That's
is.
So cool.
So that movie is going to be from your point of view. And your side.
Yes. I mean, it's going to be factual. I mean,
Sure.
it's everything and that, and hopefully some more other things come out of it too.
Very
So,
cool.
Now, so I just heard something because I think what they say is you got 15 years, but you had 30 days, right?
That
So
was-
did you know that
Yes.
predetermined that you're going in that you're going to spend 30 days?
That was on the table from the get go. I had a signed order by the judge. It was 30 days, but they wanted to do, I call it the pony show.
Wow.
So, all right, well, you're going to get this amount of time, but after 30 days, they've done the shock probation. So it basically looked good all around in court. So the judge looked lenient for giving me 30 days. The prosecuting attorney got a conviction and the sheriff got a conviction. But then, he made this big thing about, I don't know why they only give him 30 days, but he knew that because after he got to investigating, the people that were paying his salary were actually getting bourbon. Oh, guys, you have no idea. It was, and I've had, and even, I was telling you, I was contacted by the feds and I was talking to them. They were looking at the sheriff's department and some of the judges for corruption. And that's one thing they told me. They said, we're not interested in you. He said, we're after them. And the one federal agent told me, he's like, look, he said, I respect you because you manned up and you took it. He said, my problem is, he said, we don't break the law to convict or, prove the law. He said, those guys, he said, my problem, they wear badges and they broke the law. He said, I just need a couple things. And they were real close, but he never could get anybody to turn on because they were all a tight knit.
Sure.
Well, they don't want to get in trouble.
No. And, and like I told Derek, I don't do these things to get up and say I was innocent. I'm a saint. Yeah, I was doing some stuff I shouldn't have been, but it's hard to explain. It's like you start down a hill and it's that snowball effect. Everything just kept going. You try to get out and you got all these people calling you like, hey, this and this. And, I knew a lot of people at the distillery because the distillery is like a family. You know everyone. You know their kids. You know their wives. And it's mainly people check by check. I mean, there was a lot of single parents there, and a lot of people wanted to make some money, and I knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
I played softball with a lot of people in the leagues. My wife was a realtor in town, and she owned a gym, so I knew a lot of people, and that was I guess that was kind of my downfall because the people that I knew was people with money, and they wanted the good stuff.
Yeah.
So one question, I guess, is because didn't the final thing come down more about the steroids more than the bourbon? How was that portrayed?
It was anything to get the fire in the media.
Gotcha.
Because one of the guys, it's like I was telling my daughter on the way down here, I dabbled in steroids for a long time. I lifted in the winters and then I played softball in the summers, but I never ordered anything. It was actually a state trooper and a city cop. So they kind of done that because the sheriff at that time was into it with the state police and the city police because he wanted to police the whole county, and he was always on TV. Because when I made the comment about it being a media whore, he was. I mean, if someone ran off the road with a flat tire, he was on TV, and that's the God's truth. You can ask anybody in Frankfurt.
Wow.
And he threw that out because he knew the state trooper and the city cop was involved in that. But the thing that a lot of people don't know, he gave all his deputies 2 months in warning or notice that they were going to do a drug test. Then he comes out, all my deputies are clean. Well, half his force were on him. I mean, it's no big secret. And it's to me, it's not a big thing. A lot of people, they want to live to get stronger and stuff. Majority of your firemen, your policemen are on steroids. And the crazy thing that's happened now, it's went from this little buying from somebody now what do they got? Wellness clinics. And I guarantee you got them around here. So you got a lot of these guys now are going to wellness clinics, and now they're getting prescriptions for weekly doses of steroids. The only difference is you got a piece of paper by a doctor. You're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Low testosterone is what they call it. So that's what a lot of them have now.
Wow.
Keith?
I didn't know any of that. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you could tell someone one thing about like the misconceptions, all that kind of stuff, what would you say is one thing that like everyone got wrong?
Misconceptions.
What's one thing that everyone got wrong that you I mean,
Well,
everything's
there's
portrayed
a
one
few
way.
things like one of the boys I worked with, and that's another thing that kind of amazed me too. It's like I was telling you guys last night. I remember the church we went to. The preacher he said one thing once. I really it kept coming back in my. If you want to know, excuse me, a person's true nature, apply pressure.
Yeah.
And when that pressure, and guys, it was tremendous. It would, like I was telling you last night, it wasn't just local. It was worldwide, all over the news. So these guys had this pressure, and I mean, I'm talking big, burly. I mean, one of my buddies was the best softball player in the state at the time. He's 6'3", weighed about 280, and just destroy a softball. Played on like major open teams. Well, he folded like a 2-year-old, but he didn't tell them everything.
Right.
And I didn't have a problem with anybody that went in and told the truth.
Sure.
Because nobody wanted to be in that position.
Right.
But if you went in and lied, and he did, that's the problem I had.
Yeah.
So in that, there was a couple of things like I shot my gun at people, and that's a damn lie. That's a straight up lie. I sabotaged people's work. That's a total lie. A lot of that, and they took that and they stretched what people were telling them. It was like misleading because they wanted to paint me as the worst person possible.
Sure.
I was told by my attorney at the time that, how was it? She said, he has made you public enemy #1 in Franklin County. I was like, public enemy number? I was like, let's see. I don't rape women. I don't molest children. I don't beat my wife. I don't go out and shoot animals, out on the side of the road or anything. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't rob old people. I said I was supplying bourbon to most of the people that's his boss.
Right.
But I'm public enemy #1. But that's the way, when you get behind that 8 ball with law enforcement, it's no limits to them. I mean, they can do whatever they want to you.
They wanted you, and they
Oh
figured out
yeah.
how to get
Well, he had to get someone because he had already told the public that he was going to solve it, and he solved it with me. And if you guys watch it, you see, I told him from the get go, I'm not the guy that took the 2013.
Yeah.
And if you watch the show, you'll see.
Yeah, at the end, because I watched it again, right, to catch up. At the end, I don't remember what his name was, but he was like,
Greg Anglin.
Well, I took a case. Well, maybe it was 2 cases. Well, maybe it was 80 cases, right? I mean, that was after the fact, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I understand that completely.
On that note, the only reason that was in the documentary, we were contacted by one of the guys on the sheriff's department, Captain Weber. He contacted me, and my daughter went to see him, and he said, you need to give your producer, because here's something a lot of people don't know. They'll say it's public record, but if you don't have the case number, certain dates and stuff, you could look for 2 years and never find it.
Right.
If you know it, you can find it. So that's how Greg and Shane actually, it was like a few months or a month before that, he already had that Greg was the guy that took it. And they knew that within a week after they arrested me. But Pat took the files, gave Detective Farmer, and said, no, this is the guy that's the one that done it. This is who we're running with. Wow. They knew Greg was the one that took it. So, I mean, you realize how much heat that would have took off my ass?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So fast forward 11 years later, here it is.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what do you guys think of this cigar?
I think it's great.
Yeah, this is a great state.
This is, I love this one. This is kind of like I'm turning into an Espinosa guy, right? I mean, I don't know if I've had, you've been given, you like told me, hey, go get one of these.
Sure.
Yeah, these are great sticks.
I'm an Espinosa guy.
Yeah,
man.
these are.
I'm a fan.
I'm turning into one really very quickly.
Have you met Eric?
I have not met Eric.
Eric is a great guy. He's down to earth, and I tell you, he and I talked to him several times, and he flew me down last fall at his event. I'm gonna try to go each year, but when you meet Eric and go in the first time, you're family. And I mean, me and him are like that, because when he first contacted me, he had a little issue in his life, and he said I related to it.
Right.
He said I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I think we all have had some sort of issue in our life that we can relate to it. Maybe not on the scale, but
I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
well, we had somebody ask, looking back, what would you do differently?
And I've had that question, and I'm not saying do it. I would have got a burner phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my phone murdered me, man.
Yeah.
It killed me. But no, I don't know. It's just I guess at the time, looking around, everyone was doing it. It's just I knew I had more connections, and I wish I hadn't have done it. it wasn't the right thing to do, but I don't know. It's not an excuse, but when you see other people doing it and it never gets reported and it's always kept in house, so there's never an issue. And I'll get to that tonight why it was an issue. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the phone.
And the people you're giving it to are some of the same ones that are on the other side now coming after you.
You know how many city policemen and state troopers working out in the gym that would say, "Hey man, can you give me some barrel whiskey?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get you some." And the plastic traveler bottles, I'd have one of the guys in the warehouse fill it up with because back most of it is Buffalo Trace bourbon, Weller, and until they take it out and put a label on it.
Sure.
So yeah, they loved that, and I mean it was all cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah. John Coleman asked what we're smoking. So we're smoking the knuckle sandwich, the Espinosa knuckle sandwich Habano.
And
so that's what we're smoking.
I've got the Espinosa 58.
Yep, knuckle sandwich 58.
It's gonna be the one that's gonna be high dollar, so you might want to save a case.
It's a good stick. These are all good. Yeah.
Somebody asked what's your favorite distillery. What's your favorite distillery down there?
Oh my
go
God.
into one, and what do you like?
All right. And and when I do tours, I have a lot of people, which I can't do them at Buffalo Trace anymore. And I will tell you, everyone historical wise, it's a great place to visit. They got great products. But as far as doing a tour and feeling kind of at home, it's the worst one everybody picks. Now, if you're going for friendliness and it's a worldwide name, Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark is a great distillery. Heaven Hill's a great distillery. Yeah. A lot of your craft distilleries, your smaller one, like Larrikin over by Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey's another one. I mean, I can go there. That's a good one. I like going to Limestone Branch, which is they do the Yellowstone bourbon, which is owned by MGP that does the Penelope.
Yeah.
Let's see. Glens Creek is really small. You guys been to Glens Creek? They do the OCD number 5. It's on the site of the original Old Crow Distillery. Started by James Crow, which you know who that is. Mm-hmm. The father of the fermentation process that everyone uses now. And you guys come back in, I can take you to his gravesite and everything.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
We'll come down. We'll come down and visit you. Yeah, we'll come back down.
But maybe we won't drive all night long, right?
No, you guys got to get some. I can't hang with y'all.
Yeah, we were just down there. In a period of 3 days, I slept for 6 hours.
6 hours.
I drank a lot of whiskey and I smoked a lot of cigars. I had a great time, but yeah, next time I'll get a little sleep.
You was serious. You was seriously whiskey bent.
Yes, I was.
It was quite a 3 days.
It's a great 3 days.
Huh?
It's a great 3 days.
Great 3 days. It was a guy's trip to remember. I even told you guys. I said, it's probably one of the best guys trips I've ever been on.
Yeah,
and we missed you by a couple miles from you.
Yeah, I was 3 miles from me when I seen his post he put on Facebook.
Yeah. Someone's asking, I don't know how you say that.
Sazerac.
No, the name of the commenter.
Zeverhain. So did you ever go to Buck U?
You probably did not, because that's in Wellsville. That was in Wellsville. 6 miles down the road from us.
Yeah, that's right. That's Well, part of what they even talked about, I think, on the Netflix series, they said, when there was restitution and things, right? I guess they said Buffalo Trace wasn't worried about that. Okay.
And I've had that question. I only had to do restitution to one person, and the guy was Mark Rutledge. Mark came in my wife's gym, and I can't remember what it was. He done something with state. He was a state worker. He was like high up. So I had a friend that had some bottles, and he got those bottles, and he was down in Texas for some kind of a conference, and that's when everything happened. His wife called him. He came back, and his dad actually was a courthouse deputy.
Okay.
So he arranged for him to go in. He turned all his bottles in. He got a good lawyer, and I had to pay him back $2,100. But it kind of really pissed me off because his wife ran a CrossFit facility there in Frankfurt, and which Mark lifted too. And I had got him 3 bottles of steroids, and I told my attorney, I said, well, tell him I want my money back for those. Oh, I can't. I was like, well, what's the difference?
Right.
But yeah, touching on the distilleries, I haven't been to a lot out of state. I will say the one in St. Augustine, that's a really nice distillery. If anybody's ever down that way, they've got good bourbon.
I went down there, did the little tour, and I think their best bourbon is what they have distillery only, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
In there, and they have Like I have a bottle of it. I got the bottle myself, right? The bottle you're on.
Oh,
So
cool.
I have a bottle at home. So yeah,
Very cool.
That's very good.
I'll tell you another place I kind of like is Jeppa Creed in Shelbyville.
Oh.
They have a 6-year wheat that's really good.
Right. Okay.
We gotta take some notes.
Yeah, we do.
So,
I'm pretty new to whiskey. I'm pretty new to bourbon. So
You know it pretty good though.
I'm learning.
I had some guys in Arizona a couple weeks ago just blew me away.
Right.
Two of the guys, they were asking me all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell people I know a lot of stuff. I don't know everything, and I'll try to learn. I said, but these guys, I mean, I did know some things they didn't where I worked in the distillery. I was like, but they knew they were in a bourbon club, and the amount of bourbon that they had tasted and were calling off, I'm like, I can't believe you. He's like, we meet up about 4 or 5 times every week.
Wow.
And drink all the time.
That's what this group here, either in our comments or here in the store with us, they meet up virtually every night.
every night.
Well, I mean, that's good because if you're really into bourbon, taste whatever you can afford. It doesn't have to be a $1,000 bottle because, and it's really hard for me because coming up into the distillery, the most expensive bottle back in the day was, I think Blanton's was like $23. Then the antique collection come out, it was like $45, and everybody's like, who in the world's going to pay that for bourbon? And then, you would see the 20-year Van Winkle on the shelf in the local stores, and it would have, a half-inch of dust on it, 112. Nobody bought that. And, I look at that, and then I look at it now, what people are. The most I've paid for a bottle that I've drank was and I like Peerless, the Peerless Toasted. I'm a fan of toasted bourbon. The Peerless Toasted was $126, but I just can't make myself pay more than that and open a bottle up when I've seen how it's made.
Right. Especially
I just can't do it.
Especially if it's a lot of the same mash bill, it's the same juice. It's just where in the rick house and then what it's done, how it's processed.
Man, I'm going to tell you on that. I sit back and I'll take some of these tours and I'll watch these tour guides and they'll talk about all this stuff, and I'm just sitting there. And I won't say a word, but when we get in the van, I'll start questioning people. But a lot of that stuff, and it's all about sale. It's all about how it is.
Right.
But a lot of that it's kind of like the Weller 107 and the Van Winkle 10-year. It's the same bourbon. They say that they come in and they hand select these barrels and whatever it doesn't. I mean, if you want to say that, that's fine. It's the same bourbon.
Wow.
Same thing as the Weller 12 and the Pappy 12.
Really?
The only it's a different label and it's a hell of a lot different in price.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I vaguely remember going into the liquor store when I was, 21, 22 years old. And, Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace. I don't remember specifically Blanton's, but seeing all the Weller stuff and seeing Pappy on the shelf. And I never bought any, but mostly because I couldn't afford any, and I really wasn't into whiskey at the time. But I remember seeing that stuff on the shelf, and now, I don't know, I think the bottle that you brought to the Espinosa event down in Miami was probably the first bottle of Pappy that I've ever seen in person. Like,
what was
Stinson.
10-year? 10-year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a great pour.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming down more reasonable. You can, there's a place over in Simpsonville, close to where the Critchfields are. You can get a 12 and a 10-year. If you buy them together, you can get them for $1,200.
$1,200.
I mean, it's came down, but still, that's yeah. I mean, there at one time the 10-year was like $1,100, $1,200.
So here's a question: shouldn't Buffalo Trace? I mean, I get the whole thing, but be praising you because a lot of this came out.
I know I had.
What
Well,
happened?
I'll give it to you like the federal agent when I was meeting with him. He was sitting there and he asked me. He said, "All right, your last year." I said it was in 2015. It was in March. He said, "So," and I can remember when there wasn't any tours. There wasn't any visitors. I said the CEO at the time, Mark Brown, his goal was always to get at least 50,000 visitors. That's what he wanted. So he asked me. He said, "Do you know how many visitors that they've had this year?" This was 3 or 4 years ago. I know this year. I think they topped 800,000, 900,000 visitors. Anything they make. I mean, it's like my daughter called me the other day. She was like, "Dad, what's going on down in Buffalo?" I was like, "I don't know." And if anybody's familiar with the distillery, like the entrance, there's a big hill coming down. It's like 2-3 miles long. She said the traffic was backed all the way up there, and it was backed all the way up to the bridge coming over. And I think it was just the 4-week PH Taylor.
We were there.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
there.
No, that was after you was there.
Oh.
They done another
The
release.
following Wednesday.
Yes, that's when she asked me. So I mean, I guess that's what. And then they've opened some different places down there. And if you look, they bought a farm across the road from an orthopedic surgeon for $4.2 million. I was there when they bought that. They sunk $200 million in warehouses, and they're completely full.
Wow.
So did it, and after Netflix show came out, one of our friends was there's a guy that had a warehousing facility in Midway I was telling you about called White Dog. Well, we met with him because he had a guy that was interested in. He was a billionaire from New York, and he was wanting to do a bourbon label. So we were going to talk to him, and he was like, well, man, I'm telling you, he said, I know it's been hard on your family. He said, but all that publicity has made Buffalo Trace and number one. He said, let me show you something. And he was friends with Mark Brown because he would buy bourbon that was for sale, and he would store it, and he would sell it to distilleries that were low on bourbon. And he showed me on his phone. He said he texted Mark, said, boy, I bet you're loving all this publicity. Mark Brown came back, CEO both, said, we couldn't have not paid for this publicity in a million years. Smiley face, smiley face. But I do know that if anybody mentions my name on a tour, they shut them straight down.
Really?
They start talking about Hulu with Freddie Johnson. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I have no ill will. I mean, if we could work things out, I've had people say, well, would you go to, well, I said, absolutely. I said, that distillery helped put a roof over my kids' head. It helped put clothes on their back. It helped feed them. It was our insurance. Yeah, and I hate the way things turned out. I wish it hadn't have been like that, but it is what it is. So if that's the way they want to be, that's fine. But yeah, we could probably do some good business together.
Yeah,
Right.
probably so.
In Frankfurt, how is the perception of you now? You still live there.
Yeah.
How is it, you drive around, you work around. I mean, you've got obviously a paint business, you do that. How is the perception of you in the town with people that have been there for a long time?
Yeah.
I know the whole thing.
38,000 people is the state capital, so it's not that many. It's kind of weird, though. I mean, it's like, when Heist first came out, they have, summer concerts. We went down, everybody was like, hey, seen this and that. It's kind of overwhelming when you see people like on tour or like coming here. I never dreamed I'd have done something like this. Like I told you, I'm just an old redneck. But it's really overwhelming. But the people in town, it's kind of like what Isabella was talking about earlier with being around bourbon distilleries. You kind of just get the numb feeling because you see it all the time. You don't think anything of it. And I think that's kind of the way it is. And then when, I'll get someone a private message me wanting to do a tour, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you answered me. And I'm like, it's just me. And when they come, it's like, oh my God, I've watched this. And I'm like, guys, I'm nothing. It's just like the FBI agent. He said, you one got left holding the check.
Yeah,
And that's basically what it was. Cause it could have happened to several people, but I was just,
you were the one.
the so-called anonymous tipster was one of my best friends. So I still don't know the full story. I've heard things of the reward they offered. He got caught up into something. I don't know. The only thing is, like I was telling you, he knew my kids. They called him uncle.
Wow.
And that's what really gets me.
Yeah. Well, are you still seen as public enemy number one down there?
I don't think so. And the weird thing about it too, I haven't had a lot of people say negative stuff. I've had a couple people, and I've heard stories where Isabella was in school stuff, and then the biggest thing when the church we used to go to, the kids would say stuff to her. But other than that, no. But people, and it's not a shot at church people, but I told my wife, I said, isn't it amazing? I said, we've been welcomed more with open arms and people understanding and more compassion than the people that go to church that would look at these people, at other people that don't go to church and say, oh, you don't want anything to do with those people. Well, they've welcomed us with open arms and been just as friendly and nice.
Right.
And it makes you think, you sit in church every Sunday and you look at some of these people and you get something goes a little this way, and it's like they just push you all the way to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad. I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
So
It just doesn't make any sense.
Do you think it was harder on your kids than it was on you?
Oh,
What do you-
yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the question to ask.
Yes. Yeah. My kids were in therapy for 7 years, and they anxiety a lot, things like that. And that's the shit I got to live with.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I think about that every day, because I love my kids. And I'll tell you, man, they've done good. They could have, fallen through the cracks, but my son graduated Western Kentucky degree in biology. He's getting ready to start PA school, in which my beautiful daughter, my favorite girl in the whole world, is with me. She's a junior midway going into hospital administration. Straight at, she's made the dean's list the last 2 semesters. So, yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better. I would, and like I told you, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be on there with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, we were, we met at Bill last night, and we were talking. It was almost that she's so enjoyable. We almost did a coin flip, right?
Look at her over there. She hasn't shut up.
Yeah. You won, so we're glad to hear.
Yeah.
So, no, that's it's crazy. Again, just like if you watch certain documentaries, any documentary, right? They're like, not everything is factual. You only know there's every side of every story, right? So it's just a side. It's how they want to portray it.
Yeah, that's right. And with the sheriff, former sheriff, he had political aspirations that I don't know if it was governor, I don't know if it was a representative seat or what it was, but yeah, man. I've had a lot of people like, man, why was he had it out for you so bad? And which I hunt a lot and I fish a lot, and I had suppressors, and I didn't know you could have, but they were legal. I just had to have a permit. Yes. So they made a big issue about that. And see, when you get one of those in Kentucky, you have to go to your local your chief law enforcement officer, and just he signs a paper saying he knows you have it. That's it. Well, he wouldn't sign mine, so I went to the state police post, and the state police captain signed it. And when he found out, he went through the roof. He was like, "I'm your chief law enforcement officer." And my dad swears up and down today. He said that's why he went after you so hard, because you went over his head. I mean, it could have, because I've heard some stuff on him. If people got over him a little bit, he would go after their kids, their mother, hell, their grandmother if he had to. That's the kind of dude he was. He wanted absolute power.
Yeah.
So what's he doing now?
Well, after
Working at Buffalo Trace.
I'm gonna later on. I got a good one about that, about somebody working at Buffalo Trace, but he didn't win re-election. You guys seen that? He was a 2-term sheriff, and he got crushed. Didn't even win a precinct. He tried to get on every surrounding county. Nobody would hire him because nobody liked him, and they knew the feds were looking at him. So a former deputy was working in one of the county cities, Scott County, Georgetown, where they make the Camry, and he got him on over there for a little while. So he was trying to get where he could bring the news in and everything over there, and they was like, "No, you just do your job, leave that alone." So I think he got fed up, and now the last I heard, he had some working at a security company in Orlando, Florida. Left his wife and little girl up here, or in Kentucky.
A name, right?
I guess I don't know, but he has reached out to me 3 times wanting to do bury the hatchet and do some kind of business. Now I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that we're past that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way past that.
Well, say you're stranded on an island. You got one bottle of whiskey. What are you taking?
One bottle of whiskey.
Very favorite whiskey.
Man, I probably have to go for Woodford Double Oak.
Woodford Double Oak. That's some great pour.
Yes, it is.
Great pour. Very cool. What would be yours, Mike?
Huh? Oh, what would be mine?
Mellow corn.
No, the stuff you love at the bottom.
Oh, 10 high. Mike will bring 10 high.
I won't bring
10 high.
Probably an easier pour. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe I would take the bottle that we picked, right?
Yeah.
This right here is pretty good. This right here is pretty good.
The holiday sweet meat's great.
That's my buddy in Michigan, Kurt Lee. That's what he recommended me go visit this. I may have to go.
It's a great distillery.
Yeah, it goes up there tomorrow. I like the mixers too. I like the mixers too.
But I do love the Green River foolproof.
Yeah.
To me that is just a really good easy pour. It's like $45, right? So. Right. Maybe I can afford more on that island.
Right.
You only get one. You only get one.
Oh, you only get one bottle?
Yeah.
One bottle. What are you taking?
Oh my goodness. You know what I'm gonna take? I got a special bottle. It's a Frankie bottle, right? It's a 16-year buff turkey.
Buff, yeah.
Private, you hit them both there, right? Turkey.
Yeah.
But no, I would only do that because in honor of him, right? So
honor of
it's a cancer
Frankie.
bottle. So.
Yeah.
All right. So
What about you,
my bottle.
You've
had plenty of time to think about it. You know what's coming your way.
What are you drinking?
Oh yeah, this is Wheel Horse.
Okay.
But it's the I'm Your Honey Barrel. So it's kind of it's a pick. Jaime came out of Colorado. So at a Oasis Liquors in Colorado Springs.
Thanks, sir.
I think it's a Michter's 10 for me.
Is that a Michter's
that's
10?
my bottle. Yes.
Really?
You
Yeah.
talk about that one a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is the Michter's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that bottle.
That's a good one, right?
If you can find it. Yeah. Maybe Frankie has some connections.
Frankie can
Yeah.
hook us up, right? I think he just got one not too long ago.
I think if I had, this is going to be maybe sacrilegious here on Bourbon Bros. I think I'd take a bottle of scotch.
I knew.
Oh.
Right.
I think
you
I'd
said
take
that,
a
I
bottle
knew
of
it was
scotch.
coming.
It's been fun.
I think I'd take, my favorite so far has been Glenglassaugh 12 year. It's been
Hey,
my
that's
favorite.
That's for a different channel.
That's the different job. Okay.
This isn't
You know,
Scotch Bros, Casey. This
Bu-
is
or-
Bourbon Bros, Casey.
Buffalo Trace import scotch.
Really?
Glen Farkless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I had some doctors that used to like that.
Wow. Party pooper Derek. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I don't know. I'd probably, if I'm picking a bourbon, God, it might be
Gotta go
that
holiday,
holiday.
right?
I think it'd be that holiday. It's
Holiday
so
week.
pretty. That's
It is.
Rick House Proof.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. So, yeah.
They've done a great job of bringing that name back and just, I feel like, turning around McCormick.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's the old McCormick distillery. So it was Holiday originally. And then in the 70s, when bourbon was dying out, nobody was drinking bourbon. The family, the Holiday family, sold it off to the McCormick family, and then they were doing all the McCormick vodkas and gins
Right.
and everything else, all that real bottom shelf stuff. And then I don't remember when it was. It wasn't that long ago that the Holiday family bought it back.
I want to say it was 10 years ago? Is
Yeah.
that when or maybe that's when they started producing again.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it wasn't that long ago that the original family bought it
It's
back.
good.
So
I will say, if you can get to Holiday, it's like a piece of Kentucky in Missouri.
Well, you know, it's like I was telling you, I'd been to St. Louis a couple times playing ball.
Yeah.
I've been through Missouri once, going to Oklahoma. I've never been like out here. Didn't know this was over in Kansas, but it reminds me a whole lot of back in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, you've got the limestone, you've got the
Oh, yeah.
water, you've got the weather. See, you know, everybody talks about the water, but the weather is a big part where I'm at too. Because earlier this year it was like 85 one day, and then 2 days later we had like 2 foot of snow. It seemed like.
yeah, it's the same here.
Yeah.
And you know, I come from a geology background. You know, I was an earth and space science teacher teaching geology
Oh, that's cool.
before I opened this. And the limestone layers here in Kansas, we've got tons of limestone here. In Missouri as well, we got lots of limestone in this area. So yeah, I mean, they're making great whiskey here.
Well, and that, you know, and that's another thing too, which you know, a lot of people don't know that, 95% of the bourbon is made in Kentucky, but it doesn't have to be made in Kentucky. A lot of people doesn't know that.
Right.
And one of the strangest things a few years back, I picked a bottle up, was looking in a liquor store, and it said Indiana straight bourbon whiskey. I'm like, man, that don't even look right. But there's a lot of states that make like what is that one? Is it Star? No, not Star Hill.
Starlight.
Starlight.
Yeah.
I went over. I took some guests over to that. That's a really nice place to visit, and they got really good bourbon. And I like. Yes, over in southern Indiana. It's where you guys were in Louisville. It's probably not 30 minutes, right across the bridge.
Yeah.
Been in the family for like 150 years. They got a winery. They got like a big farmer's market. It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot, even in Missouri. So we're here on the western side, right? We got Holiday, but you got a distillery over by St. Louis with Woodhead, right?
Yep.
So they do a blue corn, right? I mean, there are distilleries just making, and they're distilling it themselves, right? They're making amazing.
It is.
So it's not just again.
It's not that Kentucky
I
mint.
know it's Kentucky, but
Sure.
it's not just Kentucky
Yeah.
anymore, right?
That's right. You're exactly right.
And we have Rieger here in Kansas City,
Yes.
who's an old distillery making great whiskey. In fact, we had some last night. Some of that
161
proof.
proof.
Well, touching back on that, if you think about it, which when I started at Ancient Age, which I'd heard the name MGP. You guys heard MGP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, MGP is in Indiana,
Yep.
Mhm.
and they are the biggest sourcer of bourbon,
Absolutely.
probably right next with Bardstown Bourbon Company. So a lot of the distilleries that would run out of bourbon or didn't make it needed bourbon, and we get it, so it's coming from Indiana.
Mhm.
All they do, they slap a label, you never know where it's coming. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. If you look at a bourbon label, it can say anything but 2 things. If it says distilled by, they cannot fake that. If you see produced by manufactured bottled by, it's not their juice. If it says distilled by, it's their juice.
Okay.
That's legal. They cannot change that.
Well, I'm just looking at these bottles right in front of me. This is distilled by, bottled, aged, and distilled by Holiday.
Bingo.
Distillery,
Then that's
Western
their stuff.
Missouri.
So
This
that,
one, distilled in Kentucky, says right here on the bottle, but I don't see.
so they source that. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, one of you guys ever tried Blade and Bow?
Oh yeah,
Well, I had a couple from Texas on a tour, and we toured the Stetzel Weller distillery down in Louisville. And while they were doing their tour, I went in their clubhouse. Really, it's old, a lot of history. It's where the Weller started with Van Winkle Sr.
yeah.
So I was talking to one of the girls, and I seen the Blade and Bow because the gentleman I had, he had the keys, and he was wanting to get in their club.
Oh yeah.
And I like that whiskey tastes good. I
Yeah.
like that.
I just had some a couple days ago.
But I told her, and see, that's owned by Diageo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, I didn't know Blade and Bow was Diageo. And she kind of looked around and she's like, it's not our bourbon. I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, when they I guess got that contract, she said it was contracted. They sourced that bourbon. I was like, really? I said, where do they source it from? She said, Buffalo Trace.
yeah.
I was like, wow. I said, I just learned something.
Well, let's throw one more name in here because a great Kansas distillery which is up and coming.
Oh yeah.
And we've kind of been doing some partnering things with and continuing that is Gunner. They're down in Wichita, Kansas, right? And they distill their own. They've only got like 3 offerings, but they've got a decent product and growing. They're growing with us too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, we're doing some really cool stuff. I'm really excited about Gunners.
you can't forget Gunners. So Gunners is kind of where we're going. So
Yep.
let's do this real quick. Why don't, Derek, because we've been pushing this so long, this is not where it ends for the evening here and for you, right?
No.
So why don't you tell what we're doing here?
Yeah, so when we end this live, we're going to be serving dinner. So my family made dinner tonight, made barbecue, and I'm pretty excited. My mom and dad, they're great cooks, and so they spent all day and all day yesterday cooking to serve us all food. And Toby, you're gonna get into telling the story a little bit more here with the group that joined us, and we're gonna be smoking Espinosa knuckle sandwich cigars
Yes, sir.
and drinking some great whiskey
This
and learn about the story. Then tomorrow here in the store at 1 o'clock, we've got 6 different cigar manufacturers going to be represented here with all sorts of deals. A big multi-vendor event. This is my first annual Ash Bash. So tonight's the kickoff party, and then tomorrow will be the Ash Bash. So live music all day long. We've got food. We've got night fighting happening tomorrow night. So it's
Are you in?
I'm in.
MMA, UFC style
Bare
fighting
knuckle.
in a ring. Not bare knuckle. They're
That's
wearing
tomorrow.
They're wearing
medieval suits of armor,
suits and have swords. And
swords,
Oh,
and
okay.
axes, and shields. Yeah, they're going to be beating the crap out of each other out here. And then Justin White's going on. His Justin White band is going on, who's a good friend of mine, and it's going to kill it on stage and just pack the house. So it's going to be a great night.
So all of you are right now watching. We're actually going to go live for that tomorrow night. What time does the fighting start?
5:30.
So 5:30, and however long it goes to, and well, there's still people alive fighting. We're going to go live so you can watch it. So
Right.
as guys come off bloody off the stage, maybe we grab them and ask them, how you remember
How'd
your
that
name?
feel? Yeah, how'd that
Okay,
feel?
yeah, right. So we're also going to do that, so everyone can watch. They
Yeah.
can watch that on this channel tomorrow night. So it'll
Right.
be a couple-hour stream of. You know what? People love to see people beat the crap out of each other.
Yes,
Isn't that
of course.
crazy?
Right? Well, yeah,
That's the only reason I went to a hockey game.
Yeah.
but yeah. So we'll probably we're going to start to submit at Ash Anvil.
Yep.
Got
What's our next?
Talk
What's
about
our
the
next
live.
Tuesday live?
So next Tuesday we're going to be live 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to have selected. We're not going to know. They're either store or state picks.
Yeah.
A different random. It won't even be one. It won't
That's
even
good.
be one brand. It's going to be multiple brands of just bottles that are either a state pick or a store pick. We're going to do a blind on them. Hopefully, it's not too many because there's a it's,
They all start tasting good.
The good thing is we're back to the lower level with that, so it'll be in my basement where we're filming that.
Right.
So I don't have to drive home.
Well, but we are professionals.
We are professional.
We are professionals. So yeah, we can.
We
can
act
do it.
professionally. We know what we're doing. We know our limits.
That's right.
So no, it's
All right.
This has been a great one.
This
Yeah,
has been great.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I look forward to the next couple hours with you here. After
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
and we're gonna come down again, and we're gonna
Yeah.
do some good
With the
things.
VIP tour.
Hey, and I'll tell you too, guys, if you get any of these upcoming distilleries, if they need somebody to come in and be a promoter, hey, I'm open.
Okay.
It's kind of like you were talking about around the home. It's like a lot of distilleries know, and they like talking coming in. I was like, man, I said I'll come in and be an ambassador for anyone.
Oh,
So
very good.
I'm always open to that.
Good.
We're growing, and we're growing with them big time. So that's and we're going to continue that. So yeah, we'll absolutely. That would be just another feather in the cap.
That's right.
I just want to say one thing. Any veterans out there, thank you for your service.
Yes.
I do that. Both my grandfather was in World War II, and I'm a big supporter of the military.
That's me.
Yes.
I was there 4 years. 4 years to the day. Appreciate you, sir. So, well, Heath, any last?
No, this has been great.
There's food back there.
You know
so.
what this reminds me of? Major League. You're Bob Uecker.
Yeah, that's right. I am the talk. Well, I've been known as being the talker.
What'd you say? You're the best sound man.
That's right. So we're, it used to be when we first started, Derek wasn't part yet. It was just Heath and I. And people were like, "It's Penn and Teller."
Yeah.
Right. One guy's talking, the other guy's like, So. No, hey, we should appreciate you, everybody.
No, thank y'all for having me.
It's been a joy, and we met your daughter. I mean, it's just, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that, so we should appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, we're going to close it out, guys.
Let's kick this party off.
Let's get this
Let's
party
do it.
started. So, hey, remember, it's not just about the pour, but the body creates. Happy Fourth.
Thank you for joining, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.